Section 7.3 is titled Using the Percent Proportion. And the percent proportion is a proportion in which one ratio compares part of a quantity to the whole quantity. So what you want to remember is that part over whole equals percent over 100. And if you can remember that saying, part over a whole equals percent over 100, you'll do just fine. So let's find the percent. It says 12 is what percent of 32? So remember, part, and I'll write it down here, part over whole equals percent over 100. So 12 is what percent of 32? So you have to figure out here which part's the variable, and it's the percent that we don't know, so that's our variable. The part is 12, and the whole is 32. So it wants to know 12 is what percent of 32. So 12 is part of 32, and what percentage is that of 32? So we're going to cross multiply 32x equals 1200. And we divide both sides by 32. We solve this just like the proportions we solved earlier in chapter 6. So 1200 divided by 32 is 37.5. And remember, this is percent. So 37.5%. 12 is 37.5% of 32. Next we have 15 is what percent of 20. So again, the same proportion, part over whole equals percent over 100. And we're still finding the percent. So that's our variable. And it'll always be 100. The 100 will always go there in every one of these proportions that you set up. So now the part is 15, and it's 15 out of 20. So that's the part, and 20 is the whole. We cross multiply. 20x equals 1500. Divide both sides by 20. And we get that x equals 1500 divided by 20 is 75%. So 15 is 75% of 20. Let's say you got a 15 out of 20 on your test. That means you would have gotten a 75%. Next we have what percent of 5 is 12. So we're still trying to find the percent, but this one's just worded a little bit differently. And you have to be able to look at these problems and understand which pieces you're given and which piece you're asked to find. So the percent, again, we don't know because it says what percent. The part is 5, the whole is 12. So we cross multiply 12x equals 500. Divide both sides by 12. And we get that x equals 41.6 repeating. So we would say 41.6 repeating percent. If it did tell you to round, then you would just round it to whatever decimal place it says. But that means that 5 is 41.6 repeating percent of 12. Let's do some more examples, but now we're given the percent and we're supposed to find the part. So part over whole, we're still using the same proportion, equals percent over 100. So here again, the part, it says to find the part. So the part is what we don't know. The whole, we're trying to figure out what number is 15.5% of 450. So there's your whole. Then our percent is 15.5, and it's over 100. So again, we want to cross multiply. 100x equals 450 times 15.5 is 6,975. Divide both sides by 100. And we get that x equals 69.75. So that means that 69.75 is 15.5% of 450. Let's look at another example. If you want to try to set this one up on your own, go ahead. But we have part over whole equals percent over 100. So again, x over 330 equals 11.4 over 100. So cross multiply 100x equals 330 times 11.4 is 3,762. Divide both sides by 100, and you get that x equals 37.62. And that means that 37.62 is 11.4% of 330. Hopefully you got that one right. If you didn't, you can see where you went wrong. And again, we're still finding the part on number 6. If you didn't try 5 on your own, try 6 on your own. So pause the video here, see if you can solve this one on your own. But we have part over whole equals percent over 100. And I've said that enough now that hopefully it's starting to stick in your brain, the different pieces of this proportion. But we have x over 425 equals 15.3 over 100. So again, cross multiply 100x equals 425 times 15.3. And we get 6,502.5. Divide both sides by 100. And we get that x equals 65.025. Essentially, you're just moving the decimal place 2 to the left since we're dividing by 100. So that means that 65.025 is 15.3% of 425. And now we've set up so that we could find the percent in the first 3 examples. We found the part in the next 3 examples. So now we're going to find the whole. So part over whole. Now where the word whole is, that will be our variable. Percent over 100. But in your homework, I'm not going to say find the part, find the whole, find the percent. So you'll have to be able to read the problem and understand which numbers are which piece of the proportion. So we have 78 is what, or is 60% of what number? So 78 is 60% of what number? So we're trying to find the whole. We cross multiply. 60x equals 7,800, or 7,800. Divide both sides by 60. And we get that x equals 130. That means that 78 is 60% of 130. Okay, let's look at another example. If you haven't tried one of these on your own, please do that now. 30% of what number is 63? So 30% of what larger number is 63? That means 63 is our part. We don't know the whole. Our percent is 30 over 100. So we have 30x equals 6,300. Divide both sides by 30. That came from cross multiplying. And we get that x equals 6,300 divided by 30 is 210. You can check your answer. Remember, this is the whole. So if you took 63 out of 210 and you did that in a calculator, you get 0.3 as a decimal. But remember, how do we change decimals to percents? We move the decimal place over 2 spots, and we add the percentage symbol. So that would be 30%, which is exactly what the original problem said. And on the final example, we have 45 is 3% of what number? So 45 is our part, we don't know the whole. 3 is the percentage, and it's out of 100. So we're going to cross multiply. 3x equals 4,500. Divide both sides by 3. 4,500 divided by 3 is 1,500. So that means that 45 is 3% of 1,500. So if we did 45 over 1,500, just to check our answer, you get 0.03. And then if you move the decimal place 2 to the left, or 2 to the right, that is 3%. So you can check your answer on these, which is kind of nice. In class, we'll work on worksheet 7.3.